One thing, I learned a few things as a kid. I think when you're born, you have a canvas as big as you can see, big as the eye can see. And everything you learn or think about or imagine will be on there, on that canvas someday. And I think I was born with like a little dot. It's like I knew some things already. It's like I think I was born with the knowledge of karma. And I knew I'd been here before. I knew I'd been on Earth before. I'd had a life here before. So I had divine guidance. I could hear my fairy godmother, I called her then. So, and I grew up fast. You get pushed through a window at 2.5, and later the same sibling tries to cut your toes off, and sister that always doing these play scenarios where I'm dead, to all for the point of scaring mom. I'd ask her sometimes, why are you always trying to scare mom? Because it's fun. That was fun to her. But I wondered, I had a memory of all that. So, looking back, I could kind of deal with it and understand why things were the way they were. A lot of kids can't do that. When you're one, I heard someone say when you're 1 through 6, you learn everything you'll ever learn in your life. That may be true, but a lot of people, they don't remember it. I do. I remember mine, so I can kind of work on it. Other people, they don't. Talk to a lot of other people, they don't remember anything from their childhoods. So if you learn everything from 1 through 6 and you forget it all, how can you work on it? A lot of people don't know the traumas they've been through that they live out through their whole life. They don't deal with the things that make them who they are. I have 2 siblings that one hates my dad, one kind of worshipped him, but they both fell into the same thing, same patterns. My father would work all week and he'd drink on weekends. My one stepbrother did that till he died. I have my older brother, he does that every weekend. I asked him, do you ever consider why you do that? That's what our dad did, and that's what you did. As soon as he turned 16, 17, he started doing the same thing as dad, getting drunk on weekends and raising hell. I think that happens to so many kids. Children are. See, I was connected to the vine. All children are. They just came from, call it what you will, they just came from heaven. They just came from a divine place. And, I think people should really take care, people think, oh, they'll forget this, they won't remember this. Yes, they will. The subconscious never forgets anything. So really, show kids love, because they are still connected. Children need at least one person that just shows them unconditional love, so they know what it is. Some kids don't know what love is, if you can believe that. If they have someone in their life that can just show and care for them. But the thing is, I see it's a microcosm of my family. My father's father, I guess he kind of pissed off the church. This is almost 100 years ago. My father's father was a warehouseman, and they enacted blue laws, so you could not work on Sundays. So, well, he kind of violated that after they enacted those laws, unloading a cargo of bananas on a Sunday, and they decide to prosecute him. I got a subscription to newspaper archives, and the quote from him was, "Well, if they want a test case, I'll give them one." I don't know what happened with that case, but he died shortly after my father was born. And apparently he had an abusive mother. And then he went in the Catholic Church, became an altar boy. So I don't know what happened to him there, but his view of heaven, it didn't exist. He thinks when you died, that's it. 2 minutes after my mother died, I was devastated, but luckily my aunt was there to kind of comfort me. She said that, your mother's in a better place, and she's right, but still it didn't help. And then my father says, if there is such a thing as heaven, and he laughs, and he's standing there with that grin. So to him, my mother was gone. Everything she was gone. And that's what a horrible way to view things. But that was my dad. I think he was, and I found out when his trauma happened. I told him exactly what I thought of him once, and he got a false police charge on me. It took a year to pins and needles till it got dismissed because it was completely false, and he knew it. But he's worked at a prison. He wanted me to put me back in a prison. Didn't want me free. So, but yeah, but when I talked to him, I told him exactly what I thought, and he couldn't handle it. I found out exactly when his childhood trauma started. He put his head down, his chin down on his chest, and put his arms around him like he was a 3-year-old boy. And you can tell when people get traumatized, when they get confronted with the truth or something, they can revert back to wherever their trauma happened. And unless people deal with it, it'll be with them the rest of their life. My father, he was fighting, call it what you will, it was a demon. It's like some attachment that he never acknowledged and could never get rid of. My brother could have been the same way. I mean, he grew up with an abusive father. And then he went to school. I don't know what happened to him at Catholic school, but he'd just blank out. When he tried to push me through the window, tried to cut off my toes, I watched him one day. He had a completely blank face. I mean, his eyes were just, 1,000-yard stares, like he's hypnotized or something. I remember I was like 2 or 3. We were in the backyard of our house, and he picked up a baseball, and his totally blank eyes, he's just standing straight up, reaches down, picks up a baseball, and throws it. I thought he's playing catch with my dad earlier, so I thought that's what he's doing. Then I heard my mom scream. He hit my mom right in the side of the head with a baseball. And he goes, I didn't mean to. That was his thing when he pushed me through the window. I didn't mean to. When he tried to cut off my toes, I didn't mean to. It's like I don't think he really realizes why he does things. I asked him about that, and he said, I didn't mean to. So it's like brainwashing. It is. I mean, when children are traumatized, it's a violation of everything that's right, especially if it's done in a sexual way. I mean, that's breaking a covenant. And kids their minds cannot take that trauma, and it breaks into parts. People have learned to program those parts. They get broken. I mean, I think the Catholic Church has been doing this for 1,000 years. Who knows? My family heritage card from Ireland This could have been going on for 1,000 years, who knows? But the thing is, show your kids love, and keep them protected. You know, what they learn from 1 to 6, they remember, they retain. So be very careful. And anyway, love you all, and I hope this helps. You know, take care of the kids, because they are our future. So, and they are connected. I mean, if you want to get closer to God, get next to small, well, babies, and because they are connected. So anyway, love you. Bye.